So what I'm going to do now is show you how to take those triads that we learned way back when and make them into major 7th chords and dominant 7th chords. The problem is when we take a 3-note voicing and we get rid of the root to make it the 7th, we have to put the root back in. So I want to show you how to do bar chords first, then the major 7ths, and then the dominant 7th. So here's A major triad root position that you all know and love. And there are extra notes in this area here. We have an A way up here. That's another root. And then down here, we have a 5th, doubled right here. And way down here, since this E string has the same notes as this E string, this note is A, that note must be A too. So here's your root position triad. Let me fill in all those extra notes that I talked about. So you should be able to see that original diagonal line root position triad in the midst of all this other doubling. And what that's going to allow us to do is to take this A major triad, take this root note, and drop it down a half step. Because a half step down from the root is the 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to put the root in down here. That is A major 7. Here's your regular triad, down a half step, bass note. Okay? To make it dominant 7th, you just go down a whole step and then readjust your fingering. Notice that these two notes stay the same, the 3rd and the 5th of the chord. Okay? So that's the root position one. The first inversion one, the little triangle shaped one where the 3rd is in the bass and the 5th and then the root. To make this a bar chord, I'm going to put the root here, and then I'm going to double up the 3rd way up here. This little triad is going to look an awful lot like that triangle shaped D chord that you play in the open position down here. But I'm just going to move it up to A. So if you wanted to, you probably could throw in this note. This is E. This is the 5th. You don't have to. Anyway, to make this chord, this first inversion chord, a dominant 7th or a major 7th, you have to drop this note down a half step. That's the root. Now to make it dominant, you'd have to drop this note down another step, which ends up doing this, and that's not very comfortable and not very... Let me do that kind of slowly again. The note that we want is this G, right? Here's the root, here's the major 7, here's the dominant 7th, the flatted 7th. I can play it there. There you go. And the last one. The second inversion triad, the straight up and down line chord. When we did this in the open position, we ended up doing this. Major 7, dominant 7th. To make this a bar chord, I'm not going to be able to show you in A. Let me move it to the key of C. A sharp, B, C. Here's the root. If I move the chord up, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have to move the bass note up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's C, same inversion, and I've made it a bar chord. Same thing kind of applies as we did with this one. I can do this. Okay, so to make it major 7, take this note, drop it down a half step. Then drop it down another half step to make it dominant. There you have all 3 inversions: root position, first inversion, second inversion, dominant, major 7, and bar chord. Good luck.